On February 27, 2026, Pakistan's Defense Minister, Khwaja Asif, stepped to a microphone and declared an open war. Historically, a statement like that from Islamabad means a conflict with India. This time, the military crosshairs were aimed strictly at the Taliban government in Afghanistan. The human toll is staggering. Airstrikes are hitting Kabul and surrounding provinces, and over 100 civilians are dying every single week. The violence reached a devastating peak on March 16th. Right in the middle of Ramadan, bombs struck the Omid Addiction Treatment Hospital. Over 400 people perished in the debris. Routine border disputes have vanished. Two supposed historic allies are now engaged in an indiscriminate total war. Pakistan is dropping bombs on the exact same group its own intelligence agency spent 3 decades training, funding, and empowering. This diagram shows exactly how this relationship started. It's a geopolitical doctrine called strategic depth. With a highly hostile India on its eastern border, Pakistan needed a way to secure its western flank by creating a massive buffer zone inside Afghanistan. By installing a reliable allied government in Kabul, Pakistan could focus its military entirely on the east, operating with the certainty that its back was fully covered. The precise geopolitical weapon designed to guarantee Pakistan's survival has mutated into an active existential threat. The investment began in 1994. Officers from Pakistan's ISI intelligence agency tracked down a madrasa teacher named Mullah Omar. They offered him weapons and money on one condition: he had to seize control of Afghanistan. Islamabad poured resources over the border. They supplied oil tankers, huge caches of ammunition, and converted domestic Pakistani religious schools into dedicated recruitment centers for Taliban fighters. By 1996, the Taliban captured Kabul. 5 years later, the American military arrived and overthrew them. For the next 2 decades, Pakistan played a dangerous double game, publicly supporting Washington's war on terror, while quietly financing the Taliban insurgency. When U.S. forces finally withdrew in 2021, the Taliban retook power. Pakistan's Prime Minister, Imran Khan, publicly declared that the Afghans had finally broken the chains of slavery. Pakistan assumed their 30-year investment had paid off. They severely underestimated that a force built entirely on religious fanaticism plays by its own rules. While the ISI trained fighters for Afghanistan, those same border madrasas produced a splinter faction, the Tehrik-i-Taliban Pakistan, or TTP. Furious over Islamabad's cooperation with the United States, the TTP turned their guns inward. Their sole objective is to collapse the Pakistani government and implement strict Sharia law. The human cost of this blowback has been horrific. In December 2014, TTP militants attacked the Army Public School in Peshawar, executing 132 children right in their classrooms. The Afghan Taliban's 2021 victory actively emboldened the TTP. Operating as a dedicated domestic enemy, their attacks pushed terrorism-related deaths inside Pakistan to over 4,000 a year by 2025. Pakistan's current demand is absolute. The Afghan Taliban must hunt down and eliminate the TTP operatives hiding across the border. But Kabul is paralyzed by a severe complication: a highly dangerous rival militant group known as ISIS-K. This chart shows the Taliban's fatal catch-22. If they launch a full offensive against the TTP, thousands of radicalized fighters will simply defect to ISIS-K. That directly strengthens a faction actively trying to overthrow the Taliban. It is a complete geopolitical deadlock. Pakistan is bleeding from an insurgency it fostered, and the Taliban is forced to shield Pakistan's deadliest enemy to ensure its own survival. This paralysis triggered the rapid military escalation of 2026. Bypassing diplomacy, Pakistan launched direct airstrikes on Kandahar, the spiritual birthplace of the Taliban leadership. The military asymmetry is massive. Because Afghanistan lacks a functioning air force, Pakistani jets command total domination of the skies. But an aerial campaign cannot hold territory. Looking at Afghanistan's rugged landscape, a Pakistani ground invasion is militarily unfeasible against insurgents who have spent decades perfecting guerrilla warfare in these exact mountains. Trapped between absolute air superiority and unbreakable ground resistance, neither side can win. The conflict guarantees an endless loop of airstrikes,
casualties and broken ceasefires. The entire foundation of Pakistan's strategic depth policy was to block India from establishing any influence in Afghanistan. Today, the very Taliban regime that Pakistan installed is actively signing trade agreements and awarding infrastructure contracts to Indian companies. Pakistan built the Taliban. The Taliban sheltered the TTP. Now the TTP slaughters Pakistani citizens. After a 30-year master plan, Pakistan is setting Afghanistan ablaze, desperately trying to extinguish the fire it deliberately lit in its own backyard.